Hello, Tuesday the 7th of October 2014. It looks a bit dark in here today, doesn't it? Look a bit dark in here to you. Never mind, I shall try and radiate a little bit of brightness for you, boys and girls. Thank you. Oh, a bit of a chest today. Yes, this must be the continuation of the throat. So, bit of a chest. It's funny, actually. Sometimes I wake up in the morning just before I go down the swimming pool, and I feel a bit like that, you know. And a little bit of asthma, you know. A little bit. I do get a little bit like that. I do. And yet, you walk up to the swimming pool, have your swim, come out, and it's all gone. I do believe exercise is a very, very important thing, boys and girls. You must keep on moving. Wasn't that song by Five? I'm so glad you enjoyed a little bit of singing yesterday. Lots of lovely messages. Thank you. Brandon says, fab. The Candyman and the dentist, though, don't get along. They don't. They don't, dear. Oh, when's the last time you went to the dentist, Brandon? Eh? Have you been poked around in your mouth with that little metal... Oh, I hate that thing. That's almost as bad as a drill. You know that thing? They've got it on a stick. It's like a stick. And out of it is this rusty old nail. And he puts it... Yes, number 5. Number 15. And it keeps poking your teeth. What's all that about, dear? There's enough holes in them already. I've been poking that rusty old nail in my mouth. But you're quite right, Brandon. The Candyman and the dentist don't get along together. I wonder if there is a song about a dentist. Anyone got any ideas on that? Are there any dentist songs or something about teeth or something like that? Do let us know on the email, okay? Email address chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Would be nice to hear from you. Joyce says, Chris, the song was over the moon. Move over you know who. Oh, please, Joyce, do me a favour, dear. I don't think so. I don't think... No, I'm nowhere near as good as the great. And we must genuflect in his name. Barry Manilow. International star. Not star, megastar. Megastar. Thank you, Barry. Thank you for the music. Eloise says, just got back from a 10-day vacation. Where have you been, dear? Do tell us. We want to know these things. 10-day vacation. You're very secretive. Was it somewhere... Are you working for the CIA? Is it some important... Do you like my eyebrows? Was it something very important that you were going to... Oh, God! I wish people wouldn't ring me while I'm trying to do my videos. What is wrong with them? That was my best mate, Ron. He thinks it's hilarious to suddenly make a phone call while I'm halfway through talking to you. You're much more important than he is. Now, where was I? Yes, Eloise, are you working for the CIA? Do tell us. Where have you been? She says, I'm catching up watching all of your videos from last week. Loved your performance for the Candyman. The Candyman can... Sometimes I have sweets to give out while I'm singing that. Sweeties. Smiles all around. And Wendy says, thanks for singing that for me, Chris. I love it. Thank you, Wendy. That was specially for you. Maybe, boys and girls, you have a little request of a song you'd like me to sing. Now, I can't sing anything. You know, I think some people are good at singing certain things and others are good at singing others. For example, you wouldn't expect the great Barry Manilow to do rapping, would you? You wouldn't expect him to start rapping with Jennifer Lopez. Mind you, wouldn't be enough room on the stage with the size of her fat arse, would there? Barry Manilow and Jennifer Lopez, he'd be on the stage, she'd jump on, and with one movement of her arse would knock her off the stage. Or knock him off the stage. I quite like the... Maybe, as you quite enjoyed that, I could be on perhaps volume 2 of my dream duets if Barry Manilow does a second album. Oh, wouldn't that be great? Oh, hello, Barry? No. Hello, Barry. Oh, how wonderful to... You want me to sing with you? Oh my, I mean, that would just be the pinnacle of... I might as well die after something like that happens, mightn't you? Because that's it, your life is complete. Barry Manilow wants to sing a duet with you, wouldn't it? You might as well just think that would be it. The end of your life. You don't need to do anything after that. That would be the pinnacle, to be able to sing a duet with Barry Manilow. Of course, as usual, boys and girls, no support at all from my best mate Ronnie, who writes, "Oh my God, you're a real entertainer, a drag queen." At which I point out that I do not wear women's clothes. I don't. Not even in private, on my own. Not the overgarments, and certainly not the undergarments. There are no stockings or knickers on me. I just want to point that out. Ronnie says it's all in the hand movements. Now, what does he mean by that? All in the hand movements. I don't know what you're going on about, boy. He says, you don't need it. It's all in the body and hand movements. Watch the VT back. It's hilarious. Now, I said, what VT? Anyway, I rang him up. I said, what do you mean by VT? And he says, videotape. And I'm like, oh, he's trying to be all clever. Like he's in the television industry, and has been for many years, and knows all about television production. Whereas me, here I am in my studio, with cameras and lights all over the place, dear. Videotape. Are you still using tapes then, Ronnie, dear? I thought you was at the, the cutting edge of technology in your house, with your Apple this and your Apple that, and yet you refer to this programme as a VT? I thought it was some sort of sexual disease, dear, when I first saw that. What are you going on about? Do try and be relevant to the programme, or don't comment. It's as simple as that, dear. And by the way, the announcement that I am now taking requests of songs to sing doesn't refer to you. There will be no songs sung for you, dear friend. Thank you. And don't interrupt when I'm doing my recordings either. It's most annoying. Now, one of the things myself and my dear friend Ronnie have noticed is the amount of Mr. and Mrs. P's there are when you go out. Now, what do I mean by Mr. and Mrs. P? Okay, it can be one, either a Mr. or a Mrs. or a Mr. and Mrs. And Mr. and Mrs. P's are Mr., say, for example, Mr. Personality. Now, by that, we actually mean Mr. Non-Personality. And there are so many of them. Have you noticed them? What I'm going to ask you to do now is tell me where you have seen those people with absolutely no personality whatsoever. I have a couple of examples. There's Mrs. P, who works in the Nationwide Building Society in Bracknell. She sits on her desk, and I'm sure she's very nice, and she sits there with her glasses on, little fat lady, not that there's anything wrong with that, I'm just describing, I mean, you can be politically correct if you want to be, and say, oh, she's a little overweight. No, fat. That's the word, fat. I'm afraid to say so. I'm going to show you something now, boys and girls, that will shock you. This will shock you. This will really shock you. I've put on a bit of weight. Look. Oh, dear. Oh. I can suck it in if you want me to, but you can't go around like that. That's where I am at the moment. So I've put on about half a stone, and I'm sorry about that, boys and girls. It's the cheese and onion crisps. Oh, I am so addicted, and it's terrible. I go in and, if there are any police or political figures watching this show today, you should be doing something about this. I go in supermarkets everywhere, and there are crisp dealers everywhere. In America, I think you call them potato chip dealers. They are everywhere. You've only got to go in the supermarket, and funnily enough, they don't even talk to you. You just go past the shelf, and there they are. All those... I don't want to say this too loud, because I will get in trouble with the laws of this country. There are crisps everywhere. I mean, just out in the open. Unbelievable. And they keep jumping into my basket. Packets of cheese and onion crisps. Oh, I love them. And as you can see, not happy as I'm going on holiday very, very soon now. So I'm not happy about that. So a little bit of fat there. Anyway, so she sits there, this one in the Nationwide Building Society, say, good morning. And she, she's got the glasses on. She's got the glasses on. They've got very, very important people. Very, very important, working in banks. And she'll look over her glasses like that. Oh, hello. But no smile on the face. Good morning, sir. Oh, and you think, oh, there we are, another one with no personality whatsoever. And we do find these people, don't we? And is it me, or are there more and more of them appearing all over the place? Usually walking around with their faces stuck in a phone. Excuse me, They've got nothing to say. Nothing of interest whatsoever. They are like clones. Well, obviously they all look different, but they're just like clones walking around with no personality, no sense of humour, and you wonder what they get off on life. You know what I mean? Strange people. So there's one in the Halifax. Quite a lot of people that work in banks are Mr. or Mrs. P. Or should it be NP? Mr. NP. Yeah, no non-personality. Yeah, NP. Mr. or Mrs. NP. Bank managers. There's a good one. People walking around. People who work in council offices. Mr. and Mrs. NP. Excuse me, sir. You know, no personality at all. Nothing. Nothing at all. So there's a couple of examples from me there. Where are your people? Where are your... do you know, a little note has just flashed up on my computer screen. My best friend Ronnie has found it very funny to make a note on his Facebook wall. Just disturbed Chris Reardon doing his hobby radio video thing for like the 100th time. Like, too funny. I think it's very funny as well. When I cut your head off. I will behead you, Mr. Ruckoff. If you're not very careful, you will be beheaded and placed in my cat bowl for the cat to eat. Oh, not a good idea. The cat will probably die, to be honest, eating something like you. So there we are, Mr. Non or Mr. Mr. or Mrs. NP, non-personalities. Where are yours? Okay? They have no character. There is no character. I like people with characters. And I know a lot. I know a lot of people with characters. And I'd like to start talking to them, talking about them on this little show, boys and girls. Maybe you've got people in your life who are characters. Then let me know about them. Okay? Chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk is my email address. And the character I want to tell you about today is my Auntie Brenda. Auntie Brenda was my mother's sister, and they also had a brother as well called Uncle Michael. Now, my mum and Uncle Michael have now gone to that wonderful place that we hope to be in the sky sometime. So she is the last one left. And each day I try and make a little phone call to her. Sometimes I don't have a lot to say and think, oh, what am I going to talk about? But I know she's there waiting for that phone call. And if you have someone who's elderly, you know, you might think, oh, I've got nothing to say. Believe me, I'm pretty sure that phone call is probably part of the highlight of their day. Even if it's only for 2 minutes, they are waiting for that phone call. So perhaps if you haven't run someone elderly who's on their own for a long time, pick up the phone. Give them a ring. Give them a ring. And Auntie Brenda and I get on very well. But she's a blooming nightmare. An absolute nightmare. She is a wonderful, wonderful, full of heart lady. She is kind, quiet, thoughtful, but also very, very trusting. And she worries the life out of me. She's a bloody nightmare. Examples, right? Recently, she's standing at a bus stop, okay? She's been standing there a while and a car pulls up. Door opens. Older man says, oh, have you been waiting at the bus stop long? She says, yeah, I think I've missed my bus. Oh, well, hop in then and I'll give you a lift. And she gets in the car. God's sake. She gets in the car. That's how trusting my aunt is. Example 2. The other day, last week this was, when I rang her at night, she says, oh, something very odd happened tonight. I said, what was that? Because she lives down this road and it's very, very quiet along this road. Very quiet. She says, I was just sitting here and the door went at 7 o'clock and outside were 2 boys. I said, oh, you didn't open the door, did you? Well, she said, I did. She said, but they had badges on. I said, okay, what was it then? They said they wanted to know if I had any work for them. And I'm like, what sort of work? Oh, cleaning the gutters, anything around the house that I needed doing. That's what they wanted. Now, 7 o'clock here in the UK, at this time of year, it's now dark, okay? It's not quite pitch black, but nevertheless, it's dark. And she said, I didn't have any work for them, so I just closed the door and they went. I said, are you mad opening the door at that time of night to 2 young lads? She said, well, they had badges on. And I said, well, what did it say on the badges? She said, well, I didn't look. God's sake. Oh, and I'm like, Brenda, do not open the door at night. You don't know what they're doing there. Oh, Brenda. She was recently ripped off for some drain people, okay? So she had a blocked drain. She called someone out. They were there about an hour. Charged her £500 for that. £500. And I said, oh, for God's sake, Brenda, ring me first. You know, ring me first. She's not too badly off with the money, but that's not the point, you know. Never spend money unless you absolutely have to. And certainly don't be ripped off by people. This was the drain people. They were there about an hour. £500 to clear a blocked drain. I don't think so. And the latest one, and she's, when you ring her, you know, you'll be halfway through a conversation and all of a sudden she'll come up with some disaster story that she's seen on the news. And I have to say to her, do you ever see any nice stories on the news? She said, well, it's all bad news. And she'll come out with some disaster story. And I'll put the phone down being more depressed than I was when I first rang up to you. And then the final thing happened just a few days ago again, her mobile phone. Now, she's got this mobile phone and she's not good with technology at all. Okay? But she bought this mobile phone and she managed to make a phone call to me. Now, recently, she's topped it up with £20. Okay? A day later, she went to use it and it said she'd used all the £20. I said, well, how did you do that? She said, I don't know. I didn't use it. She said, all I did was put in the code, the numbers for the top-up thing. I don't know how you do it. I think she goes down to the shop. She goes down to the shop and tops it up like that. And she said she got back to use it and the £20 had already gone. And we're not quite sure how that's happened. She's just, Auntie Brenda, who I love, is a nightmare and she worries the life out of me. Have you got anyone like that in your life? I bet you have. I bet you have. Thank you very much, boys and girls. It's Tuesday, so if you're anywhere in the southeast London area, I'll be hosting a quiz night tonight at the Mayflower in Rotherhithe, London. Okay, that's every Tuesday night, 8:30 to 10:30. Quiz night at the Mayflower in Rotherhithe, London. You have a nice day. I'll see you tomorrow. Ta-ta.